Hello and welcome to Now You Hear Me, the podcast that gives a voice to musicians across cultures. I'm your host, Martha Betuiza, and today on the podcast we have Ariane Roy, a Canadian singer-songwriter, rock star, honestly. She recently released her second album, Dogue, which is a bit of a sonic departure from her first album. We talked a lot about the creation of this album, her delving into fiction writing, and her channeling more intense emotions via these songs than she can channel kind of in her day-to-day life. Aside from that, we also talked about her musical origins, her inspirations, how tour is going, and more. So enjoy this episode, and thank you for listening. Ariane Roy, welcome to the Now You Hear Me podcast.
Thank you so much. Thank you for inviting me.
Dude, of course. I really have been loving your album. I've had it on repeat. It's so good.
Oh, thank you so much. The last one or the first one?
I mean, both, but this most recent one I've especially had on repeat lately. And I think I found you. I don't even know how I found you. I was trying to remember. I think it was on Spotify, like on some playlist or something, where I found Ce n'est pas de la chance, and then after that I discovered the rest of the album. But I have this issue where when I find one song that I like, it's kind of all that I listen to. So I literally basically only listened to that song for like probably a year, and then I was like, let me listen to the rest of the album, and I was like, wait, the rest of the album's really good too.
Oh, it's nice. But I mean, it's nice that it travels, and it makes me happy that just people from everywhere. Like, are you in Canada? Or are you in the US?
No, I'm in the US.
Yeah, you're in the US. Yeah, so it's cool that it travels a lot. Like, I love it.
Yeah.
And you have a good French accent.
Merci beaucoup.
Yeah. Pretty good.
I have trouble. I'm like trying to habituate myself a little bit more to the Canadian French accent because I have a lot of trouble understanding it, but I want to.
Yeah, it's very different than, the French accent, but yeah, it's cool.
But I love it.
Thank you.
I wanted to ask you first about the first song you ever wrote. I'm always very interested in like how people get their start and what that was like. So yeah, can you tell me about that?
Oh my God, yeah. I think it was in a French class when I was like 18 years old. Oh no, that's not true. Sorry. Yeah, the first song I composed with my friend, it was a political song. It was like we were really into this, we were teenagers and like in identity crisis, and I was 15. That. Yeah, and we have my guitar, and we sang we have the musical camp that we went to, and yeah, it was our performance of this song. It was this, but after like my song, like that I wrote just myself, it was a French class, and the teacher asked us to just do a creation, and I did it in front of the class. But I was in the music concentration, but I was in front of the other students. They were cops, cop student, firefighter student. There was a lot of concentrations. I didn't have the feeling that it was the people, I would connect with. But I did my song, and they liked it. So it gave me some confidence, I guess, to pursue this thing. And yeah, it was my first time.
Honestly, I feel like that's very relatable. I feel like that is actually reminding me of, I had a very similar assignment in my English class where I think we were in a poetry unit. We had some sort of assignment. I don't remember what it was, but I took a song that already existed and rewrote the lyrics so that it could be kind of like a similar sentiment to the poem that we had read. And I recorded it, and I played it in front of the class. Well, I played the recording of the class because I was too nervous to actually perform. And I was so scared that I hid in the back corner of the room, and I was like on the ground, like folded up into a ball and closed my ears. I was like, you guys can listen to this, but I cannot.
I relate. But did it went well?
Yeah, it did go well. Yeah? You know what, like looking back, I'm proud of myself for like pushing myself to do that. And yeah, I just think I love that sometimes it's in these language classes where like we're given the freedom to do something out of the box, that you try something new and like maybe it sticks.
Yeah, and at this age it's pretty, it takes a lot of courage to just do this in front of everyone. Yeah, so that's nice.
It does. But you grew up singing and playing guitar. Like how did that all start as well?
Yeah, so I don't have a family of musicians, but my parents were very I don't know what's a mélomane in French. I don't know how to say this in English, but they love music. They're very. So they bring me to a lot of festivals and shows at a very young age, and just to see female singers and female with a guitar or a bass guitar, so it really was something important for me in my the course of my musical life, because just to see someone play, so it inspired me to just to sing but to play an instrument too. So and I studied at music in my primary school, high school, and university too. So but it took a long time for me to just really feel that music was made for me in the professional life.
Yeah,
it was not something easy for me to just say that I want to do music in my life. Even if I studied it for so many years, it was so easy for me to just say, but I'll do something else. It's too hard. I know that it's not a good thing. I know that it's hard. It was a thing to protect me, I think. Sorry for my English. I'm not so fluid, but yeah.
No. You're doing great. Never apologize. You're doing great.
But so, but I did, there was a music competition at when I was 18 at school, and I did it, and we did not win, but the thing for me to just do this and see the reactions and see that people loved it, I think it gave me also, a cool I came back at home and I wrote in my journal, like, okay, this is what I want to do in life, like this is it. I'm not just faking anymore to I will do something else. So
that's a common sentiment with a lot of artists that I talk to, where people are like, I grew up singing or writing or whatever, but I didn't think that this profession was for me, which is a very interesting thought, because I feel like I don't know. When you're young, you feel like maybe you can do anything, like when you're in kindergarten or something and people ask you what you could want to do, and you're like, oh, I want to be an astronaut, I want to be a pop star, I want to whatever. But then I think as time goes on, and I think especially as a woman too, you might feel like, oh, there are certain professions that just aren't for me. But I'm glad you were able to get to that step where you realize that this was in fact for you.
But I think it's I was very afraid to fail anything. It was not possible for me to assume like I'm failing at this. So, and music is it takes talent, but it's the conjecture of chance, and privilege to do this. So it takes a lot of things to just live with your art. So I think, it was a way for me to protect me, and just, I had a teacher that once said to me, okay, you can do something else, you can study something else, but I know you will come back. Like, I know you will just come back at it because it's who you are. So it's a little cheesy, but I mean, for me, it was true, I guess. So I just pursued it.
I love that so much. I totally relate as well to like the fear of failure as well. And I'm curious for you, at least for me, like a lot of my fear of failure comes from being a perfectionist in a lot of ways. And I think I didn't realize for a long time that I was a perfectionist, because I was like, no, that person is a perfectionist. Like they're type A, they're very like, and I'm not like that. But I realized that I had this fear of, even honestly with starting this podcast, I didn't do it for a long time because I was afraid of that failure. And so I think a lot of that fear of failure just and like perfectionism stops me from even starting something. Did you feel like you were kind of like that growing up, like had some sort of like perfectionist tendencies in school or whatever?
Yeah, completely. Yeah, I relate to that. But congratulations for making this podcast. You know, it's cool that sometimes we overstep this fear, because I think that sometimes it just I didn't do some things that I would have liked to do because of that. Yeah, I was a perfectionist too, and the same as you. You know, sometimes I just said, yeah, but no, I'm not that type of girl, because you know, some people are so structured and organized, and I'm not this. But I think I am. But I think I'm a selective perfectionist. So in my work, in my music, I really am. I think I am very slow in a way. That means that, you know, I'm not, I need a lot of time to create, even if I show up to work every day, just to, like, I have, it's easy for me to work, but to be happy of my work, it's another thing, and it takes a lot of time. But yeah, and when I was a child, like, you know, to just try something new, I was telling my parents, like, you know, no, I cannot start this because I'm not good at it right now, and I need to be perfect at it the first course.
Yes.
So it's something that just sometimes, So
I fully relate to that, and I feel like it's a constant exercise of me telling myself, like, you don't have to be perfect the first time. Like, anybody who becomes good at anything, they do it because, you know, maybe they started off bad, and the person that you see on stage, who I talked about this actually in the first episode of my podcast with one of my friends, like, the first time that you do something, like, you're probably going to be bad at it, and the person that you see on stage is probably, like, were also bad at one point, but they kept showing up, and so you have to keep showing up too.
You have to keep showing up. That's really interesting. Yeah. And I saw something in my life that just changed a little bit my mind about this. Was you need to encourage the steps you're taking and not the final product, you know? So just to valorize, is it a word? Valoriser?
Maybe validate? I don't know.
Validate? I don't know. Yeah. I'm sorry. But, you know, to just... the work you're making, you need to, like, to take the gratification in this instead of just what is the final result. I don't know if it makes sense. So yeah, it's just changing my mindset about this. Yeah.
Totally. You mentioned, like, it kind of being difficult sometimes to be happy with, like, the work that you've done. So how does that show up within your creative process, and in terms of, like, when you write songs, how do you feel about them when you first write them versus, like, a few weeks later versus when you put them out? Like, what's your relationship to your songs in different stages of the creative process?
I think that when I start a song, and, you know, I had this gut, sometimes I have the gut feeling, or just something happens and I'm like, okay, I got it. Like, I found something, and it's just something I feel in my core, like, okay, this hook, or I don't know, that I found, like, okay, it really works. But it's very temporary. It's a feeling that is almost magical in the air, and you need to grab it. And, like, maybe the tomorrow, 24 hours later, I'm like, what I don't remember, like, what was this feeling? I don't, you know. So now I just trying to keep this feeling, or just remember it rationally, and just, okay, I need to go on, because yesterday this feeling was true. So even if, because I have the tendency to just be tired really quickly of what I make, you know, just be like, no, it's just whatever it, you know. So now I just, okay, I keep going on, and sometimes 2 weeks later I finish the song, and sometimes it's just, I don't like it. You know, it's a fact that, it don't touch me, or I don't know. But sometimes, like, it was a good thing to pursue, because now it makes sense for me. I don't know if it's clear, but it was a thing to learn, to just keep going, even if it's the feeling is not there, but maybe will come back. So
Yeah.
I don't know how you feel about that, but it's the thing of the creation for me.
I remember one time seeing this social media post that was like this wheel, almost like a circular thing of like, I just came up with the best idea ever. And then like the next thing is like, this is horrible. And then the next thing is like, actually, I think this is workable. And then it's like back to like, yes, this is the best idea ever.
Yeah, exactly. That's a cycle. And it's totally true. And every time you do it, I do an album, I do something new, it's the same. It's like, I don't know how to write at each album. I don't remember. How do I write? I don't know. Just write. It's the same thing over and over again. Yeah, for sure.
Well, kind of on that subject, like going into talking about your second album, you just put a new album out, Dogue. Is that how I pronounce it? Okay.
Yeah.
What was the creative process like for that, and how did that kind of differ from the first album?
Yeah. So Dogue is really, for me, an album that it took me a long time to just find the right way to do it and what I will be talking about and just the kind of music that I wanted to make, because I didn't want it to be the same thing as the first album. It was very important for me to do something different, because I think was also I felt that in my body that I want to go elsewhere.
Yeah.
And for my first album, I worked with my co-producer Dominique Plante, which is a very good friend of mine. He's still in my band, and we were a great team together. And for the next album, I just wanted to try something else, but I took a long time solo, just alone in my studio to just find things. But I never did it this way, to just be alone in my room for like 2-3 months. It was very frightening for me to just try that and not take advice too soon from just see what is inside of me creatively speaking, and take confidence in my skills just to work with a music DAW, so just to work with something else and just change the ways. So last album I was composing with the guitar and piano, but this one, like, sometimes I took a lot of time to just look out for samples, look out for a beat, and starting with that, or take my bass, did a bass line, and just we start from there. So I changed the parameters of my creation. And I did my special technique, the yogurt.
Oh, yes.
I say yogurt. I don't know if it's a thing in English. I don't know. But, so my melodies are always in English when I sing, so it's like actually, it's a language completely made up language. Yeah, made up. But the fact that the sonorities, is it a word? Yeah, are in English, it brings me at another place than in French, because French language has its restrictions. Yeah. But I think they are false restrictions. But sometimes when I sing it in French, I think I feel like I can be a little bit blocked with where I want to go with my melodies, and just, so it changed a little bit the songs, just because it was another language. But after, I needed to just rewrite everything in French, and it was really hard. Really hard, because sometimes it doesn't sound as good when you write a text, the lyrics of your song. You need to be like happy with your lyrics, but also the phonetically, the sonority of it. It needs to groove. I don't know how to say it.
Yeah, it needs to like just sound good. Yeah,
it needs to sound good. So it was really hard, but I think that's why I made this album, and it was so different than the first one. Like this thing particular this word.
Look, I can't say that word either. It's tough.
Yeah, so it was one thing that it was very different from the first time. And after this, after 2-3 months alone, I contacted a co-producer, Félix Petit, that worked on many albums that I really loved. And we never met at this time. And the first time we met at the studio, we were working the first day on the album. And it was very, very a good match. We understood each other so well. And he completed me a lot in the artistic ways. He's very, like, you know, fast. I tend to just think a lot. And sometimes it blocks me a little because I don't know. I always have a second thought, but he's more like fast, more frontal. I don't know.
Yeah, he's just kind of like straight to the point.
Yeah, straight to the point. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it was very nice for me to see this.
That's a really cool balance to have in the way that you work. And it's so cool when you're able to find like kind of a musical soulmate that is able to understand you and like push you in a different way, you know?
Yeah, really. And it's so precious when you find this, you know. It's like, I love to work in team with a teammate. So yeah, it's really nice.
And I Want Your Body was the first song that you'd written for this album, right?
Yeah.
How was that? Which that's probably my favorite song on the album. I love it so much.
Thank you.
How did that kind of help you unlock the sounds and the themes of the rest of the album?
So it's funny because I Want Your Body, I wrote it 3 days after I went to New York City with my friend for just a vacation, like 3 days in New York. And, you know, it's been a long time that I just went travel for fun to just escape and just think about something else with my friend. And it was so nice. New York City is probably my favorite city in the world. I really love this city. Even if it's a little bit overwhelming, you know, you spend 3 days there and you're like, okay, that's enough. But for me, just so rich and cultural, and the arts and the shows that we went to, it was very inspiring. But to just give space to do something else than music or looking out for ideas, just let it go. Yeah. That's the way it came back for me, the inspiration. So I came back home, and you know, I started writing I Want Your Body, and I was like, what am I doing? I don't know. What is this song? I found it really weird at first, but it was very fun for me. So I think it was a time that I said to myself, okay, I need this album to be fun and give me permission to do things I want to do, to let it my musical instinct to just live and try new things. And you know, I kept I Want Your Body because it sounds good. So I kept it in English. And I think for the other songs that came after, it was just this thing that, you know, okay, I do something, even if it's I had the impression that it's not what I do usually, I need to keep going. Every time I said, I'm in new territories. Okay, that's a good thing. It was you know what I mean? So it was really that just give me the fire to. I had a lot of fun while creating it. It was fun.
I mean, I feel like you can really hear that in the album.
But thank you so much. That's a point. And you know, it's a mix of fun, and also I often said about this album that it's about being angry sometimes, and give us the permission to be angry, and, you know, embrace this feeling of I'm not hiding anymore. I just am. So when you let space for your anger, I think it's a way to calm down. Like instead of just push it and that it come back just more. So
exactly, yeah.
Yeah. So it was a way for me to just express myself, like in the lyrics, but also musically, to just to shout, to just be intense, because I don't give the permission for me too much in my everyday life to have these feelings.
No, totally. And I think it's so healthy to be able to have that outlet, and especially as a woman as well. I feel like some of the emotions that you described, whether it's like anger, pleasure, passion, intensity, like those are things that we're kind of told that we're not really allowed to feel or express. So then having a project in like a specific place to put it all is really great and really healthy.
Yeah, it's a privilege to when you can create and, you know, be an artist and just have the space to do it. So yeah, it was really fun.
I would like to also ask about the title of the album, because I feel like it's kind of related to what you've been describing. Like, how did you land on that title?
So Dogue it's a French word that I learned when I was searching for names of the title of the album. Yeah, so Dogue is name that we give to like dogs that are big and more intimidating. I don't know,
okay.
like a more chien de garde. It's more, and it's also an adjective that we give to someone that is brutal. So it's the both things. And what it was like, why this word was interesting for me is the feminine word of dog in French, because in French we have like masculine and feminine name for names. And, you know, in French, the feminine side of dog is chien. And chien is like a slang for like, I don't know what could be the translation in English, but just a bad word for female.
Like a bitch?
Like a bitch.
Okay.
Like a bitch. So I think it was interesting to have, because I love dogs so much. And I thought that it was cool to just, why the feminine side of dog is so bad and so associated with like sexuality in a bad way, or just angered, or just, you know, someone like, you know, a bitch. So yeah, it was, I thought to embrace that was very nice and funny for me to just, I'm this dog.
Yeah. I love that so much. It's like a beautiful like reclaiming. You've talked about like wanting to just like have more fun and stuff on this album, and I was wondering if the creation of this album was informed at all by your live shows. I know that there are some artists who like they'll maybe put out an album and then they'll go tour it and they'll say like, oh, like I had a lot of ballads on that album and I don't know if I want to sing only sad songs on tour, or like I really liked this upbeat song or whatever. So I was wondering if you were thinking at all about like the live aspect while you were creating the album.
I really love to dance in my shows, and on the first album, the live tour was really interesting because the songs were taking another form on stage. And for me, it's a thing that I love to have two versions, like the record version and the live version. And it was pretty more intense on tour. Even for my first album, that it was more like sometimes even bedroom pop, or I don't know, but it was more rock and energized on stage. So I think for my second album, I just took that energy and just, when I was making it, I thought, okay, it will be nice on tour. But sometimes, you know, and we started the shows like 2 weeks ago. And sometimes the thing that is pretty hard for me is because they are really like more up-tempo songs on the album, but there are also a lot of ballads and like more minimalistic songs, more quiet, and to just take everything and just do a show that have sense and just have a curves, but it just that have dynamics, you know, so just not too much. And so it was a challenge for me to do that, but for now the shows are really nice. I think people are receiving it, which I'm very happy about it. So, and it's just like I can dance and I'm happy about it. I love to dance and just give it. I don't dance, so I'm not a good dancer, I don't think so, but I don't care.
It doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter. You just need to,
That's awesome. I'm happy that you can dance more for these shows. You've also said that this album like delves a little bit into fiction, like there are some kind of stories that you have like created. How do you get I really, really appreciate when artists like aren't only writing about themselves and they maybe write about other things. I think it shows a different side of like their creativity. But yeah, how do you find inspiration for some of those stories?
So yeah, I think it's cool to have another side, because when you write about other things than your personal life, I think you still kind of write about yourself. You know, it's always your perspective and just your thoughts about this. But it was a time of my life that I watched a lot of movies, and I don't know, movies are a source of inspiration for me because the way they make me feel or whatever. And I wanted to just be a creator of like a story more theatrical. I think the source of my inspiration sometimes were also my desires or just my fears, or just that I translated in a story that completely invented, but just it's a way for me to just present or just be in contact with my phantasm. Is it a
fantasies?
Fantasies, yeah, sorry, with my fantasies. But yeah, so sometimes it was also stories that happened to people around me. I don't know, just something, a side of me that I wanted to just magnify or just disguise, but it's a part of me that doesn't exist in my personal life, but it's still there, you know? So it's the only space where I could be this persona. So it's a chance for me to just, incarnate this persona.
I think that's so cool. And I feel like it's such a mark of a person's creativity when they're able to take inspiration from a bunch of different places, even if it's not their personal life. And to your point too, like it will always have bits of you in it because you're the one that's writing it, and it's your observations and it's your fantasies and your thoughts and stuff. So and I think it's also really powerful when I'm listening to an album also, and I don't even know, sometimes I like to know actually, like, oh, which songs are the fictional ones and which ones aren't. But either way, like, it's so nice to listen to something and not know, like, oh, this one is about a personal experience and this one is not, because again, I think it shows like the power of the creative to be able to portray something that feels so real to the listener, regardless of whether it's like a real story or a fictional story. Like, all the stories are real because they came from you, you know?
You're right. Like, and listeners, when they listen to your songs, I think they make it about them, you know? When we hear a story, when we watch a movie, we listen to a song, it reminds us of something just we live. It's natural. I think it's normal for every human being to do that. And sometimes people told me, oh yeah, your song about this. And I was like, it's not about this at all, but I don't want to tell you because somehow maybe you're right. Maybe just I channel something in my, in conscious just to and your perception is always right. I think for art, I think it's important to just, it's your song now, it's not mine anymore, and you can appropriate it, the way you want.
I hear a lot of artists that will say that when they put something out, they're like, no longer belongs to me, it belongs to you. Are you able to like listen to your songs after they come out? I know that there are some artists are like, oh my gosh, like I've been listening to my own album, like I'm my top artist on Spotify, and there are some that are like, I've blocked myself on Spotify because I cannot listen to it anymore. So where do you fall?
It's a good question. Sometimes it takes me years to listen to the songs I've made, and just to be in peace with it, because when you're an artist and you create, the creations you make are just piece of your life at this time. So sometimes I listen to them with more of a what's the word, attendrissement, like more empathize. I don't know,
empathy,
empathy, and just like wow, you were this person at 22 years old. And
Yeah.
I would not write this today because the lyrics are not so good. But, but that's who you were back in the days. And it have some of a sense of, I don't know, a beauty in this, you know, when you captured a moment of your life. It's like a journal. When you read your journal, how do you feel? Like, oof, it's cringe, or I don't, but you know,
or
it's the same.
Painful,
But at the same time, it's like, oh my God, like it's been a long way since this time. So, but now, this second album, I think, because it's more, I just made it, and some songs I can listen to them and I'm still happy about them, which is a lot to say for me, because I feel like sometimes I just, oh my God, quickly I'm like, no, I want something else. I'm not happy about them anymore. But now I think they are still good, so it's nice. It's the first time, I think, in my life that I'm like, no, I still like them. But I don't listen to them often because I would be crazy, I think, would be. No. Just, you know, to just, oh no, why did I do this? Why? There's still a thing in the mix, or I don't know.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, so.
That makes sense. It's always interesting to see where different artists fall on that spectrum of whether they can listen to their music or not. You said that the tour has started already, right?
Yeah.
How has it been going?
It's been going so well. It's really nice. I need to just take the beat, I think, of the tour, of the live tour, because it's a show that is very physical for me, because I'm really I don't know, I use a lot of my body on stage, and I need to be healthy. It's really stupid, but it's true for me. So but people are really sweet, and they just receive the music, and I was afraid that the quiet song, they don't like it, or I don't know, but in general I think they can hear it and just be present. And I feel like it's really a chance to do that. And we worked a lot. We worked hard on this show, like for 3 months or so, and we have a lot of repetitions, and I don't know, like, you know, I practice rehearsal. Thank you so much. With the band. So, and it took a time for us to just be comfortable with the songs, and just like the band at the beginning, they were like, it's too much, like, because it's very different from the other show. There's a lot of things. But I'm happy with it. I'm happy with the scenography, and I watched a lot of shows on YouTube to inspire me for this show too. I wanted to make a space, like, you know, like a movie you watch. I wanted to make it more theatrical, with the lights and with my way to be on stage. So I worked it a lot. I had a coach of movements for Lucy to just be more in my body too. And it helped me a lot. It was the first time I did this, but it was very helpful. So it's really nice. I'm happy the songs are taking another turn on stage, and it's really amazing for me to see that. It's nice.
Oh my gosh, now I want to go see a show.
Yeah, but I would like to travel more, you know, in the North America too. It would be, I would love it if you could see my show.
Is there like a dream city or a dream country around the world where you would want to play?
I think, you know, we will go in France soon, but my dream would be to perform in London, I think, because I love England. I would love to do a show in England.
That'd be awesome.
Yeah, I manifest.
Yes, yes, this is us putting it into the universe right now.
Yeah, exactly. But maybe we'll see.
Yeah, no, I believe it. You can do it. The final question that I want to ask you is, I always end with this question of asking my interviewees, who are the women in music that are currently inspiring you?
Sure. So Mitski, you know Mitski?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So she's one of my favorite artists in the world. I think she's the best to write. I think she's an incredible lyricist. I don't know, writer. Yeah. And and musically too, she can go at so many places, and she's so creative, and so she's wonderful. She's so brilliant. I mean, she's just brilliant. She's just a genius. I think this is really a woman that inspires me. And the other woman is she's English. Her name is Liane La Havas. Do you know her?
I love her.
Ah, you love her.
She is so good.
She's incredible. And it's been many years that I listen to her music because I play guitar and she plays guitar too, and just she's really good at like her motives, and just her playing is so inspiring. I think it's just, and her voice too. And yeah, it's a great artist that in my youth like really inspired me. And yeah, I think she's brilliant too. But there are many, but I think these are the two that just come in my head right now because I love them since a long time.
Yeah.
Really. But you love Liane too? Which album do you prefer?
She is so good. I saw her live in like 2017 or 2018 because she was opening up for Leon Bridges. It was like the best pairing on the planet. Yeah. And so at that time, I'm even forgetting the names of her albums, but that first one where I think it's like Is Your Love Big Enough or something.
Yeah.
That album. And then the second album that has Unstoppable with like her and like the pink background.
Yeah.
So those were my favorites. I would listen to those all the time. And yeah, she's so good at guitar, and it inspired me a lot as well because I'm like very bad at like playing guitar and singing at the same time. Like I could not multitask.
Yeah.
And so I would try and like practice that with her songs. Oh my God.
She's so cool.
I love her so much. So much. She's also like a dream guest. I would love to have her on the podcast.
Oh my God. We manifest this in your
we're manifesting that too. You will go.
So
we'll
cool.
both go to the UK and you will perform, and I will interview Liane.
Oh my God, it would be a dream. Yeah. She's really nice. And do you play an instrument like beside of?
I play guitar. I don't play that much anymore. I want to get back into it, but I grew up playing acoustic guitar, and then for my high school graduation, I got an electric guitar. So I played that a little bit, but I don't really play anymore, but I want to get back into it.
Yeah, you should. But it's pretty hard. Like songs of Liane are not so easy.
They're not
to play. So you should I guess you're good.
It's like she's going like all up and down and also just singing like perfectly at the same time. I'm like, girl, I don't know how you do it. But yeah,
pretty impressive,
it was incredible. And I would like to see her because she was opening for Leon Bridges, but I would love to see her like doing a headline show.
Yeah, I think her new album will come out soon because she's more active on Instagram. I've
noticed.
Yeah,
I was thinking that too. I'm like, I'm hoping.
I'm hoping. I don't know, but maybe.
Yeah, cross our fingers.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for doing this podcast. I so much appreciate it.
Oh, thank you so much to you. Thank you for the invitation.
Where can everybody find you online?
I guess on my Instagram, and also I have a website that is arianeroy.ca.
Shout out to Canada.
Yeah. And but on my Instagram, Ariane Benoui, it's everything is there. And all the other platforms, you know. So.
Yes.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.